Hi, this is Mary Hansen, and this presentation is on obtaining frequency distribution tables in SPSS. Once you have the data entered into SPSS, it's fairly easy to get a frequency distribution table and also descriptive statistics. To do that, we're going to go under the Analyze menu in SPSS, Analyze, then to the Descriptive Statistics option, and then the Frequencies option. This is a common screen that you will see when you go under the Analyze menu in SPSS. On the left side of the screen will be all of the variables that are in the data set. On the right side, we'll need to put the variables that we would like to be analyzed in this particular analysis that we're running. In my data set, since I only have one variable, I'm going to go ahead and move that variable over using the right arrow key. And now this is in the column of data that will be analyzed for this particular command set. If I accidentally make a mistake and put the wrong variable over, I can go ahead and highlight that variable. Left arrow moves it back over. Right arrow moves it back to where I want it to be. Note in the bottom left of the screen there is a check mark near Display Frequency Tables. In this case, I do want to obtain the frequency distribution tables, and so I'm going to leave that box checked. Then I'm going to go and check out these other boxes that are provided in this menu of SPSS. If I click on the Statistics tab, if I am interested in obtaining descriptive statistics, I can get them from this window. We've talked about measures of central tendency, such as the mean, the median, and the mode. We've also talked about measures of dispersion, such as the standard deviation, the variance, the range, and that is computed using the minimum and the maximum. I'm going to go ahead and ask for all of those descriptive statistics, so I click the ones that I want to see in my output, and then I go ahead and click on OK. You can see from the frequencies command bar, we can also obtain charts. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and ask for a histogram. Optionally, you can click on with normal curve. It will provide a normal curve over your histogram, or you can go ahead and leave that out. It is optional and you can choose it, try it both ways, and see which way you prefer. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit OK and obtain the output from this frequencies command. Note that a new window appeared on my screen that is called an output window. It's called Output 1 because this is the first output window that opened in my session of SPSS. At the top of the output, these are the commands that SPSS runs based on the menu bars that I've clicked. Then I get a table that has descriptive statistics. You can see I asked for the mean, the median, the mode, standard deviation, variance, range, minimum, and maximum. These values are all provided for this data set. I also asked for a frequency distribution table. Notice in SPSS that it lists the individual scores along with their frequencies. However, unlike the tables we would make by hand, if the particular score is not a value in the data set, such as 6, it is not listed in the frequency distribution table. We can look at the frequency columns and the percent columns in this output. And we see that 10% of the data were 5s, 10% 7, 30% 8, 30% 9, and 20% were 10s. The valid percent column is appropriate for certain cases where you have missing data. In this example, I do not have any missing data. Missing data would be denoted under the data points. It would say system missing and tell you the count of missing data points. The valid percent gives you the percent out of the cases that have a response that the percent of 5s, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of the cases that actually had a response filled in. The cumulative percent column you should be familiar with. It's the percent of data that is at or below a certain score, and so basically it accumulates over the percent column. Additionally, in this output, I was able to obtain a histogram. I'm going to go ahead and make this window bigger, by up in the upper right corner saying maximize. And now I see a histogram. Along with the histogram, you get the descriptive statistics of the mean, standard deviation, and sample size. And then we can see the shape of the data. So with this frequency distribution output, I asked for descriptive statistics. And notice that you can use the arrow bars on the right side to scroll up and down through the output. Then I'm moving my mouse over to highlight the frequency distribution table. I'm going to scroll down again, and then I can look at the histogram of data. And this is all in a brand new window that is called an output window. So I have two windows now that are opened up in SPSS. I have the data window that has two views, the data view and the variable view. So I still have those two views that you're familiar with, and now I have an output window that has the output that my commands have generated. This presentation was on obtaining frequency distribution tables using SPSS. This presentation was by Dr. Mary Hansen.